Hello. Okay, today we are talking about real estate stuff, and it's a fun one because look, you can live in this caboose. Isn't that awesome? Would you live in this caboose? It is only a 360 square foot caboose, and it's in the middle of the Maine woods. Okay, here is the address 136 Calvin Gray Road, Madrid Township, Maryland. So I used to live in New Mexico, and there's a place that looks like Madrid, and they say Madrid. But anywho, I'll show this to you again because this is pretty nifty, okay? It's a Maine Central Railroad Caboose, and its number is 655, and right now it's in Phillips, Maine. I guess it's like a city that's close. So it was retired from the rails and eventually moved into this 1 acre property in 2002, where somebody turned it into an actual home. So what do you think of this so far? Oh, shoot, I got to bring something up. Hang on one sec. Okay, so this is the caboose. I've got Google Slides to show you. This is the picture you're seeing now, and then just from another angle. Okay, and then it has a kitchen. And so look at these pictures. It's kind of nice. So look at that. So when I say you can live in it, I don't mean, just throw mattresses in an old train car. It has electricity, a private well, septic, heat, has a full kitchen, dining area, bathroom, and shower. So here's one angle of the kitchen. You can see the little table there, and it goes all the way to the back. And then there's just another angle of the kitchen sink and the stove and everything. And then there's the table. And then there's the kitchen door right there. You can go out both sides. So kind of nifty, right? So it has a sleeping area also. It says it can sleep up to 5 people. So I see 3 beds here. There's a couch here. So maybe that pulls out. It just seems like it would be kind of crowded. Yeah, there's a back door there. So it's only 360 square feet, like I said, but there's a sleeping quarters, and there's 2 loft areas, which I'll show you later. That's at the end. So 1 bathroom, 5 people. What do you think? It's kind of crowded. I'll show you the bathroom here in a minute too. Just think about that for a minute. So the cool part is that you're surrounded by trees and mountains. There's a brook nearby, and you're also close to skiing at Saddleback Mountain and Sugarloaf Mountain. So you can go ATV riding. You can go, I'm going to pull up those sites right now, and you can go like camping and stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of cool stuff you can do around there. Let me share my screen. Okay, so here's Saddleback, and just see all those things there. Oh, shoot. Hang on a sec. It's not working. Why is that not working? Stop sharing. Hang on. Okay, there, I was able to troubleshoot a little bit. Okay, so look at all this. So there's all those things. This is by Saddleback Mountain. There's all these things you can do. You can see the skiing. And then I also want to show you the Sugarloaf thing, because I saw a picture of a guy that was like rock climbing or something. That looked really cool. So let me find that. So Saddleback, Sugarloaf, they sound kind of funny, right? Okay, let's make sure that's working. Okay, so that's the same thing here. See this picture of this guy hiking? So there's just stuff to do, but it's pretty remote. Okay, so if you're thinking about like living there, that'd be like a different story probably. But this is the cool thing. So there was a handwritten letter addressed to someone. So here is the first part of it. Right here. It's hard to read. And here. So I'll just leave this up for now. Okay. So basically this letter says the person that wrote it, they wrote it to a person named Sandy. And they said that they had sent a photo of this caboose to their friend, Paul Gallant, in Bangor, which must be another town close by. And Paul had worked as a brakeman for the Maine Central Railroad out of there for 40 years. And it was alongside the person who wrote this letter's father, Raymond, who was an engineer. And so Paul looked at the photo and said, if the number on this caboose is original, the writer's father had actually handled caboose 655 on runs from Bangor to Vanceboro, and later to an old town in Maine until the early 1970s. So then the writer asks, and I don't know if it's right here, did my father sleep in this caboose 50 years ago? Probably. And then how cool is that? Seriously. So The writer remembers their father having to stay overnight in Vanceboro, and he loved that caboose and would go for walks while he was there. And the person also remembered that their father would play the harmonica and the guitar and sometimes play Christmas carols for the railroad men during those overnight stays. And so that's what it ends with, that the writer remembers sitting there and saying they can almost hear the sound of their father's mouth organ playing Silent Night. And then it ends with, thank you for your hospitality. So that makes me think that whoever wrote that letter may have actually been staying in Caboose 655 when they wrote the letter. So potentially this was an Airbnb or something, pretty interesting, I think. I'm going to show you now just a couple more photos. This is the tiny bathrooms. You see how small this is? Let's see, I'll make myself here. Small, like your knees would hit the wall. And then this is the area. At first I couldn't really quite figure out what this was, but I think it's like an observation area. So there's a thing on both sides, and then you could just sit up there and look out the window or whatever, okay? But it's got a lot of land, and that's where you can park. You can park on the gravel there, okay? So it's a piece of history, right? People worked in this caboose. They slept there. I'll just take this off now. And you can see that they slept there. I'll put this here. It's kind of cool, right? And now it's a home in the woods. So forget square footage for a second. Here's my question that I want to ask you, okay? Forget square footage. Would you stay here full time? Would you try and live there? Would you like it as a weekend getaway? Or would you be like, no way, no how could I ever stay in that? Could you tolerate living in a 360 square foot house? So let me know below, and I will see you next time. And I hope you had fun looking at this. It was kind of a little interesting real estate property. So see you next time.